Hi again, gang. Jeff McAleer here, and today we're taking a look at Iron and Oak, designed by James M. Day, released by GMT Games. It's a game of ship-to-ship combat during the American Civil War, and I'll be the first to point out my favorite period of military history is the American Civil War, and I love naval games overall, so I was really looking forward to taking a peek at this title. And we'll flip it over just to kind of get a look at the back of the box too, because there's a bit of a breakdown too. It's going to show some of the counters. We're going to get into everything that's in the box. It's kind of medium complexity toward the lower end, and it is medium solitaire suitability as well. From my understanding, it is a game for 2 players, 1 Union, 1 Confederate, and it's going to include both wooden ships as well as ironclads as well. So let's take a look to see what's in the box for Iron and Oak. We've got the little note from GMT. Bag of dice. I can see that the game uses 8-siders, 10-siders, 6-siders as well. So we've got the dice there for you. GMT's always got their baggies, so there's plenty of storage for those counters. Looks like 3 sets of varying size cards. Hey, look, it's one of those little tiny mini games that's usually from Against the Odds magazine. So look at that, you get an extra bonus game, The Siege of Rhodes. Okay, we'll put that off to the side. So we've got the rule book. So let's take a peek at what the rules provide us. And we'll zoom in just a touch so we can get a better look. So this is a tactical game. So as far as I understand, each of the ships is going to be modeled, and we're probably going to see that in the cards here as well. So let's take a look. This doesn't seem to be a very long rule book, but plenty of illustrations also. Talking about setting up the game, the sequence of play. Interestingly enough, there's another game that's releasing at the same time from GMT, and it is Rebel Raiders on the High Seas. And it's also an American Civil War game that's focusing on naval action, but it's more of a strategic level. And I'm going to actually have a video of that very soon too, so you can take a peek at that. So talking about gunnery combat, the action cards. This is a title that does have action cards, and from my understanding, the action cards enhance gameplay. They don't necessarily drive gameplay. So it's not a card-driven war game. There's also a campaign game if you'd like to play. And looks like we finish up with some optional rules as well. And looks like there's a campaign log for those playing a campaign game. So 24 pages in all for the rule book. Then we've got the counters. Looks like we've got two counter sheets. So let's take a closer look at these. So obviously we're looking at Confederates here, and then Union ships. And because all of the ships are modeled on the cards, you don't notice anything outside of a silhouette and the name of the ship. And then the second counter sheet looks like it's mainly just markers to be utilized. Boiler hit, steering damage, armament knocked out, fouled, and so on. Looks like you could probably track hits as well with the different counters also. Then we have a player aid sheet. Looks like there's only one of them here. But this is a pretty quick playing game from my understanding. So it's probably not a big deal that there aren't two of these here, because it didn't look like there were too many rules that you had to memorize. And then it does come with a paper map. Aha! I was starting to wonder, but yes, there is the famous GMT playbook. But let's take a quick peek at the map here first. And it just looks like there's a turn track up top. Yeah, pretty much it's just indicating the sea. Doesn't look like there's a lot outside of tracking the turn on the map itself. Pretty good sized map though. And the one thing I always love to see from GMT are the playbooks, because these will have just a lot of information about different scenarios, as well as the historical background, designer notes, gameplay for each side, so on and so forth. So what we're looking at here, it looks like we're just going through the various different scenarios. So far we're at 11 scenarios, and then info about designing your own scenarios. Then there's campaign game scenarios. And a lot of period artwork as well. Then we've got an example of play. Looks like that goes on for 3 pages. And then it's showing once again the different markers, a summary of the Confederate ships, and a summary of the Union ships, and then the campaign log. So let's take a look at what the cards in the game also provide. So let's take a look. All right, so we have the 3 different decks of cards, and we'll start off with the smaller deck. And these are ship orders. It looks like it's broken up 2 colors. And no doubt this is probably a game where you have to select the orders for your ships before the turn begins. So it looks like different maneuvers, anchor, weigh anchor, opposing maneuver, so on and so forth. So that is this deck here. So it's broken 2 decks actually, 1 for each player. Then we have the naval yard, and then the action deck. The naval yard, I'm going to take a guess, might come into play for the campaign game. Just my guess. So various different cards here. And then the actions. And as I had mentioned, that these enhance the gameplay, it's not driving the gameplay. So taking a little closer look. Double charge, grape shots, incendiaries, misfire, ooh, that's not good. Quick maneuver, rapid fire, screen, and so on. And no doubt each player will have a hand of so many cards that they can utilize in a turn. So there you have it. That is what's in the box for Iron and Oak from GMT Games. Stay tuned, because I will have an upcoming review of the title very shortly. Once again, this is Jeff McAleer, and join me next time. And until then, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in genre news and reviews. Thanks for watching.